And hello there, boys and girls, and all of those in between. My name is Maliena Bitchcock, and welcome to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, my very own talk show where I get to interview some of the best performers from all over. This week, I'm fangirling out of the fucking Rowoozle because I have all the way from Vegas, California, Portland, the mega superstar, one and only Angel Phoenix.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, thank you. That was quite the introduction. I love it.
Well, bitch, you are a star, and there is no questioning that. Are you surviving quarantine over there?
You know what? I am. I'm actually enjoying it, to be honest, because like I've been going nonstop for the last, I would say, 3 years. So this is like a nice welcoming break.
Oh my God, girl, I hear you. It's funny because you're kind of seeing the two kinds of queens. The queens who cannot stand taking a break from drag and are keep doing the virtual shows, and the queens are like, woohoo, it's vacation time. I love it. You look so stunning. I love that we're kind of coordinating with the purple and blue hair, the buns.
Well, I wanted to, celebrate the holiday. Happy May the 4th be with you.
Oh my God, are you geeky?
I am. I am like the biggest like closeted nerd.
Oh my God, hey girl, you just got so much hotter than me. Well, I love that so much. I've been told myself that I look like I come from another planet, so that really is near and dear to my heart that you love Star Wars. Well, bitch, let's get in the bulk of the interview. We have so much to talk about, and
do we ever?
Oh, girl, we have so much tea to spill. In fact, the first question, something I think everyone is dying to know. In fact, I know you are just waiting to spill the tea on. Fuck getting into your career. Let's actually talk about all these fucking bitches canceling you on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock during Marry, Kai or Cancel.
Well, I mean, you did put me up against some stiff competition. I will say that. So I will give them credit that it was hard for them to pick. But honestly, I'm kind of happy because,
Really?
I joke so often about it. This makes me know that people are listening and people do pay attention to me. So I'm super, I was super flattered. When it happened once, I was like, okay, cool. And then it kept happening. I was like, okay, people get it. So at least when it actually does happen, I will be so desensitized, I probably won't even know that it happened.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was very smart this time though, Angel. When I actually was writing Marry, Kai or Cancel this time, I kept my name out of it just to make sure I'm not getting canceled. Well,
I could never.
Oh, I love it. Well, honey, let's start at the beginning and kind of get to know you a little bit. When did you actually start drag and how long have you been performing?
I started drag, I want to say about 7 to 8 to 9 years now. I actually started, in the beginning, I was, typical, one of those little gay boys out in the scene, doing the thing, wanted nothing to do with drag. Didn't, was kind of had the mentality, like, if I wanted a girl, I would date a girl kind of thing. But then I went to a drag show, my very first one. My friend took me. It was a Disney theme. And the very first drag queen that I saw was Morgan McMichaels. And I will not forget, she did a Hannah Montana number. And she got up on the bar, was walking across the bar, like just so much confidence and so much energy. And I was like, I want that. And so I, miraculously somehow dated a drag queen and got into it. But it wasn't the best of circumstances. There was, I was, put down a little bit, because I was bigger, like I would, it wouldn't really work out for me. So I quit after that. Originally, my name was Angel Fierce, and then I quit. And then another boyfriend came along and wanted to be put in drag for Halloween. So I was like, okay, well, I remember what I know, I can help you out. And putting him into it helped me realize how much that I actually did love it. And then when I came back out onto the scene, I changed my name to Angel Phoenix to kind of remind myself that, things might get tough, people might doubt you or, say that you can't do this, you can't do that. But, a phoenix always rises from the ashes.
Yes, queen. I love that so much. And it's true, bitch. A true fighter will just keep going and not let anything bring them down. And I love that you kind of, like, you mentioned a little bit what made you want to do drag. Was there any specific thing, like seeing the hair, the jewelry, seeing all the makeup and the outfits that really attracted you to drag?
It was more so just like the embodiment of confidence, like, just being able to defy, you know, going on top of a bar and like performing like it was a stage, like not having any limits. Like it was just more the confidence, because of course I think as all young people, when we're finding ourselves and figuring out who we are, and when we first get into the gay community, we have to kind of find out where we fit in, and our confidence levels was maybe not the best, but it was more just the confidence that really attracted me to the idea.
I hear that though, girl, because honestly, that's one of the big reasons why I still do drag and why I even wanted to do it is, as sometimes as normal people, we kind of lack the confidence. We kind of don't believe in ourselves, and then when we discover this mighty armor that we call drag and we put it on, it's like I feel like sometimes we feel like we can conquer the world.
Yeah.
So, honey, you actually started your drag career in California. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of finding your drag identity during a high-paced drag scene?
hmm Well, when I was like starting to come out, it was the very first season of RuPaul's Drag Race. There was no drag con. There wasn't really, there was drag, of course. There's always been drag in our community. But I started off just, performing with some friends, and, maybe performing like once a month.
Mhm.
And then I would do competitions at local bars, really just hone my craft. And then I got to perform. I entered a competition called the Hunty Games, hosted by Miss Morgan McMichaels, and I actually took home the prize. This was
Oh
my
my
this
gosh, is
was
that a
my
trophy?
this is my trophy. Yes, it's actually made from a bunch of items the competitors lost throughout the competition. So it's basically a shining example of everybody that I beat to win. And then, yeah, I got my own show right before Morgan's. It was really exciting. I got to become a hostess. And um, yeah, I actually have a different upbringing where most people have like a drag mother. I actually had a drag father. Shout out to Jake Garcia. Hi, baby. Who was very stern, very, was very brutally honest, to the point where I would like cry and hate him some days. But I truly credit that upbringing to where I'm at today.
Okay, I love that so much. Now, let's break down your character a little bit, if you don't mind. Why don't
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about your personality as your drag character?
Angela is she's goofy. I love just being so ridiculous and stupid and sarcastic. And, sometimes my humor is a little dark because I don't know when to just shut up. um,
I
but
hear
I'm
you,
just,
girl. Me too. I have foot and mouth syndrome constantly.
but I just love having a good time. I love just, performing, hanging out with people. I'm just the biggest, like, goofball ever.
Ooh, oh my God, I love another nerd. Yes, goofing. Well, that's good to know because, as we were kind of discussing in the pre-interview, is some bitches look at you and are kind of intimidated by you. But it's kind of know that you're just a soft, like, lovable bitch underneath it all.
I really am. And, I try to be more aware. And I always tell people the worst place to meet me is working with me in a show, because I'm very like to myself, getting myself centered, making sure I have all my stuff together, make sure I have my wig, my body on right, my everything. So I come off as standoffish, but it's just because I'm just so focused. I when people announce my name, like I have to get into the character and deliver a sleeping show. But after the show, I'm always like, hey, what's up, Kiki? And having a good time. But during a show, it's like not the best time to meet me.
Well, that's fine, girl. You're a professional. You're there to put on a show and get in character. So, I mean, it's totally understandable that that is your process. Now, tell me a little bit, speaking of personality and getting into your drag character, is there a personality change when you get in drag compared to real life?
I think like with everybody, I'm a little bit more outgoing. Like I'll walk up to strangers and be like, "Hi, I'm Angel. What's your name?" Like I try to do that at the end of every show. Like you'll see me walking around. "Hi, I'm Angel. What's your name? Hi, I'm Angel. What's your name? Hi, um, I'm more outgoing. As a boy, I'm very like timid and shy. I don't really like um, I'm like kind of like in the corner, like minding my own business. But it's just the confidence of them. I'm more outgoing. Um, that's yeah.
I love it. There's always that change in personality. A lot of people during these interviews have kind of described it as a kind of enhancement of their already personality. Do you consider that to be more of an enhancement, or do you consider Angel more of just a character?
I would say an enhancement. There really is not much that changes as far as like my integrity and what I represent. That doesn't change. It's just more. It's just I would say it's definitely an enhancement,
Okay, I love it.
major enhancement.
Yes, queen.
I have eyebrows as a drag queen. I don't have eyebrows as a boy.
Oh, did you shave your brows?
I did.
That's brave, girl. Were you scared to do it? Are you okay with it now?
Well, what happened is my best friend, Miss London Adore, we always FaceTime and get ready. And I was getting ready to go to work at the nightclub I worked at, Piranha. And I was getting ready. And when your makeup is just it's not doing what it needs to do.
Right.
My eyebrows are starting to lift because in Vegas it's super hot in the summer.
Mm.
So like my eyebrows were coming up, my eyeliner was watering, black was everywhere. And I told London, I'm like, I'm gonna be late for work. Like my makeup is not, I have to start over. And she's like, shave your eyebrows. So I was like, okay. So I shaved it and it literally, I was able to get to work on time. And then like, I didn't really have time to think about regretting it. And then like the next morning I woke up and I was like, I shaved my eyebrows. Yeah, that happened. And then, but thankfully I had a job that was okay with it. They didn't mind. I drew them on for work. I wore glasses to kind of hide the fact that I didn't have eyebrows, but it's fine. And I don't regret it.
Oh my God, get it, girl. My best friend has been trying to get me to shave my eyebrows for years. And I'm just scared because, I'm sure you look great without your brows, but bitch, I'll look like a bald muskrat without my eyebrows. I'm scared.
They're not that hard once you get used to it. And they even have lace front eyebrows. So you could just glue down. Yeah, they're really cool. I never had them, but they do have them out there.
Girl, I was gonna say, I want those just for drag. That sounds like a lot more easier than trying to draw on your fucking brows.
Move.
Well, bitch, let's talk a little bit about kind of what inspires you. Has there been any pop icons, characters, or strong women that's helped develop who Angel Phoenix is?
I would definitely have to say the comedian Monique. She played in
Ooh.
Precious. She's actually an Academy Award winner. Her because like her comedy, like if you've ever seen her comedy or seen any of her shows, she's very like fuck these skinny bitches. No offense, but she's very like anything a skinny girl can do, a big girl can do. And I feel like being a big girl, I have to work that much harder to impress people because skinny girls, it's easy for them to be pretty. They show their six pack and people automatically think they're pretty. But a big girl, you have to work twice as hard to earn the respect of people in this industry. And so that really like just inspired me, and her body positivity really just helped me. I actually have a comedic skit that's based off Monique talking about kind of the same thing, and she definitely is an influence, and I'm so proud of her. I still love her to this day.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for calling me skinny. After quarantine, definitely not feeling it. I hit the scale and saw it hit that 200 mark, and I'm like, oh!
Oh, she thick.
Well, I love that. And I love a girl that owns their body no matter what it looks like, because it's your body. It's the only one you're ever going to have. And I think having that body positivity and just owning your curves and swerves is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, do you feel like having that confidence gives you a little more will to like put on those sexy outfits and just wear anything a skinny bitch could wear too?
Oh yeah. And I made a joke with it like a long time ago. It was like, when a skinny girl wears a costume and it's rhinestone, she doesn't shine as much. But a big girl, there's more fabric, so you're gonna see more shine. You're gonna see me from space if I wear a rhinestone costume.
Oh my God, that's so good. So fucking good. I love that.
Like being a big, it's just more fabric that gets to shine.
It's true, girl. I love that. And speaking of fabric and shining, why don't you just tell us a little bit of your drag style, my love?
My drag style just depends. I see it, I like it, I want it. Which it wasn't always that way. In the beginning, before once I moved to Vegas, I didn't start working at Piranha till a year after. So in that time, I was very, not that there's anything wrong with it, but my drag style was very off the rack. I would shop at Ross, thrift stores. I wasn't worried about big hair. I wasn't worried about, rhinestones. I wasn't worried about nails. Like, I was just having a good time. And so it just was, whatever I thought was cute, cheetah dresses, cute little, like, I was very the housewife next door, but she lived in the ghetto. Like, I was sweet and loving, but then I'm also like, I'll cut a bitch.
Oh.
And then it wasn't until I started working at Piranha where I was surrounded by, big names, big wigs, costumes, that I realized that I could either step my game up and succeed, or I could just continue as myself and, maybe not succeed. So I wanted to, really look like I belonged at Piranha. And so that's when my style expanded. And then I actually fell in love with styled wigs. You'll very rarely ever see me in a flat wig. I fell in love with jewelry, rhinestones, nails. Like I love it. I just, anything sparkly and pink are like my favorite things.
Oh my God, absolutely. I always said my favorite color is glitter. Well, honey, I love that so much. And that really does just, I think that's one thing I love so much about drag is the color, the sparkles, the ability to literally wear something that can elevate your confidence, the way you feel about just yourself. And I definitely agree, girl, because drag is definitely, what does RuPaul say? We're all born naked and the rest is drag. Yes. Well, honey, you mentioned to us a little bit before that unlike most queens, you did have a drag parent, but your drag parent was actually a drag father. Now, you talked a little bit about your guys' relationship, but of course, I want to dive into more because, bitch, we need to know what makes you tick. Now, you guys said that your relationship wasn't always pleasant. There was times where he just told you as it was.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit of that dynamic between you and him and how his influence actually helped you as a queen.
Well, actually, I met him I met him when I needed him most. I was doing amateur competitions and my best friend, well, she became my best friend, Trixie, who was also his drag daughter, was performing with me, and I thought she was so pretty. She was a good performer. We became friends, and then they kind of invited me, to hang out with them. I hung out with them, got to know them, did competitions with them, and I had broke up with a boyfriend. I was, worrying where I was gonna live, what I was gonna do, and he was like, "Hey, we got an extra room. Come stay with us." So I was like, "Okay," and it really was like a family. Like he helped me get a job. I worked with him at Red Robin. And we went to shows. We worked at a club that was a block away from our house. It was just, it helped me. He gave me a lot of great advice. I think the best advice he ever gave me was, I was just having a few of just bad relationships. And he kind of told me like, hey, sit back, focus on loving you and getting yourself to where you want to be, and love will find you. And sure enough, it did. And when it came to drag, I definitely credit him for helping me get to where I'm at, because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, what would Jacob do? What would Jacob say? And even, it helps me with my children because I'm very honest with them. I'm very honest with everybody, but it's with my children, I give it whether they like it or not. With others, if you want my opinion, you have to ask me, because that way, if you get mad or don't like it, I I can just say, well, you asked.
You gave your consent for her opinion, and I mean, it's not always going to be positives. It's not always about getting your ego stroked. Sometimes it's a learning moment, and sometimes it's like, well, you should fix that, or you should do that differently. So I love that you kind of had that relationship. So what was your dynamic between the two of you? Like, were you easy to take his advice, or were you just like, no, bitch, I know everything, I'm just gonna do it my way?
In the beginning, I was very like, no, no, you're wrong. Like, I was very hard-headed and stubborn. Like, I felt that I knew it all. And then, like, when it didn't go as well or didn't look as good, you know, he wasn't really like, I told you so. He was just kind of like, gave me that look, and I knew. And eventually, I was trained to listen to him wholeheartedly. Like, if he said no, okay, we're doing something else. Or if I would make a mix and he would listen to it, he goes, work on this transition, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this. I think even to this day, he hasn't told me I'm beautiful. And I love and appreciate that because it keeps me on my toes and keep me wanting to be beautiful in his eyes.
Okay. And so you still have that relationship within your drag career.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's very amazing. And some of us didn't get that in our drag career. You know, I call myself a drag orphan because I never had a drag mother. And I kind of learned everything I know just by watching people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I really love that you actually had someone who was able to mentor you a little bit, Angel.
Yeah.
Now, just taking a look here. So what was it like performing out in California? Was there any fun stories from performing in the California drag scene?
It was a lot of fun, you know. I think early on, you know, since I did work before Morgan's show, and Morgan's show was all RuPaul girls. It was Delta Work, Jessica Wilde, Mariah, anyone that came into town. So I got to see really great performances and be around really great artists that definitely have made a career and a life from doing drag. Um, and I wish, because I was just starting to, find my place. I had a home bar where I hosted a show weekly, and I was just started. And then we wanted a better life because California is very expensive, and to be a homeowner, you either have to have someone that's gonna kick the bucket soon and give it to you, or you win the lottery and be able to buy one. So we then we're looking to move to better our future, my husband and I.
Okay, absolutely. Well, that's good to say. That I was actually going to ask the next question was talk a little bit of the transition from California to Las Vegas.
I think I compared it to going to a new school your senior year. And
Okay.
the same thing with the move to Oregon. I was, a senior doing what I did, and I had to go to a new school for my last year. So like all those friends and all those memories that you had to start new, you know. I had to start at the bottom again, which I had no problem doing, I get it. You have to kind of pay your dues and show what you're willing to do. So I had to do the tip spots. I had to do, the competitions. I had to do that all again, which, like I said, I didn't mind because I knew that I could prove myself, and I knew that I could show what I had to offer. So it was definitely, it was definitely a rocky at the beginning, but then I found my tracking, I found my tribe, I found my friends, and then I moved again.
Well, were the Las Vegas queens welcoming when you first came in the scene, or were they just like, who is this?
I think with everything, it's kind of, everyone, if it's unfamiliar or new, like, who's that? She's in California. What's she doing here? Like, it was that. But then once they got to know me and got to see my personality, I was able to change that. Like, oh, she cool.
Was it intimidating, or were you ever intimidated coming into the Las Vegas drag scene, knowing that drag is so big out there?
I no. I really wasn't intimidated. I really didn't get intimidated until I got asked to perform at Piranha. And that was like the gig. Like if there was ever like a gig in the city, like that was the gig because it's the only gay nightclub in Las Vegas. It has a high reputation. Pretty much all the cast of girls are from RuPaul's Drag Race or they're the best of the best in the city. So I really didn't get intimidated until I was asked, to work there. Well, I first was asked to perform. The general manager at the time hit me up. He's like, hey, we really would love to come. We really would love to have you perform. And before that, I didn't think I would ever perform at Piranha because it was where the pretty girls performed. And I didn't,
Right.
at that time, I wasn't at that level. And so then I performed. He asked me to come back again. And then the third time he asked me to come back, it was to welcome me to the family. And that was when I was like, oh God, I because we take pictures with people, and like when you're standing next to beautiful queens like London Adore, India Farah, and Chanel, you want to stand in. You don't want to look like the odd man out. So
Right. And I definitely understand that. And I mean, I would feel like a dream to work at Piranha because again, you said you're working with some of the best girls, including a lot of RuPaul girls. Tell us a little bit about your experience of working at Piranha nightclub. I mean, it had to help make you grow as a queen.
oh, definitely. It literally tripled my wardrobe in the time that I worked there because when you're a Piranha girl, as they call it, we have different themes each week, and you have to fit the theme. So like, for example, if the theme is, heroes and villains, or if it's, camouflage or red, white, and blue, it would be colors, it'd be themes, it'd be like movies. And so you had to, we had hosts, performers, and atmosphere. Hosts,
Okay.
you hosted the show. There was 3 shows. There was an early show at 11:45. There was a later show at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. And then there was a Latin show at 2 a.m. So, you had to dress the theme, do the gig. And in the beginning, there was a rule you couldn't wear the same costume in a 4-month period. So you had to each week have new costumes, have new things. And they paid really well. It paid so you could do that. But, you just had to always have something new, something shiny, styled wigs. And it's just, yeah.
Oh my gosh, girl, your closet must be humongous.
Well, now it is, thankfully. I have my own little drag lounge, I call it. It's the basement. It's a fully finished basement, as you can see behind me.
Yes. Now, you've mentioned while at Piranha, you were privileged enough to be able to work with all the RuPaul girls. Tell us a little bit about that and the experience of getting to work with such polished drag queens.
It was great because I got to I got a lot of great advice. I got a lot of great tips. I got a lot of great energy from a lot of them. And whenever we did have a RuPaul girl, I was kind of like the meet and greet host. So I'd bring them out to the stage, let them talk, and I would, let people go up to take photos with them and then wrap it up. And so I got to meet a lot of them one-on-one, and it was great. It was great. Like, it was a great experience. Because everyone who was on the new seasons came through. Like, pretty much all the girls have came through Piranha.
I'm so freaking jealous right now. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Why don't you tell me who your favorite Ru girl actually was to work with?
My favorite, I love all the queens. And honestly, the funny thing is this queen wasn't even my favorite in her season. But, when you meet people, that changes. But Monique Hart, she was
Really?
just the most well-rounded. She was so sweet. When she came in, she came right to the girls' dressing room because they got ready somewhere else. They had their own little dressing room to accommodate them. And so she came right to our dressing room, was hanging out the entire time, getting to know us, talking, kikiing. And then when she got to perform, she was an amazing performer. She sang live, her new single at the time. And on the mic, she was just hilarious. She had everyone just cackling the entire time. And she was just so beautiful as well. And so
Oh
I'd
my,
say definitely Monique Hart was my favorite because just well-rounded. Some of the queens, they were good on the mic, or their performances were okay, or their performances were amazing, but then when they got the mic, it was kind of like, eh. But Monique was definitely the most well-rounded, I think. It was a great experience all around.
and if you don't mind me asking, speaking of Ru girls, who has been, let's say, the most talented or gave the best performance you've seen out of all the Ru girls you worked with?
It would definitely be Evie Oddly.
Really?
Yeah, she's she's a great performer.
Like, what did she do during her performance?
It was nice because she like with Sharon Needles, they represented different styles of drag. And Vegas, everyone's it's Vegas, so everyone's like showgirl, glitzy, glamour, rhinestones, big earrings. But she did, I want to say she did like a ring mix, and it was just so cool. Like it was just, she was just cool. Her vibe was cool, and she was cool.
I love those queens that push the boundaries and just kind of go with their own character and their own vibe. As you can tell, I play to a beat of my own drum, and I love it. I could care less if the people who don't get my drag, it's the people who do get your drag that really make it worth it.
Yeah.
So, bitch, speaking of, why don't you tell us a little bit that was your favorite thing about performing at Piranha Nightclub?
It was just, like my friends, me and London, our friendship blossomed. We became best friends. We're still best friends to this day. I have great relationships with all the girls that I worked with. Um, and I got once in a lifetime opportunities. Like I got to perform in front of Janet Jackson. I got to
Wait,
meet.
what? Wait, what? Wait, what? You
Yeah,
performed in front of Janet Jackson?
I did. It
Tell
was
me.
it was the first, because she came multiple times to Piranha, but the first time it was the Billboard Music Awards, and they were in Vegas, and she came to Piranha. And so we weren't able to take photos with her, unfortunately, just because I could imagine, long day. And so they're like, well, you can't take photos, but you can meet her. So we went up and I got to meet her, tell her, hi, my name's Angel, let her know I'm performing in the show. She said, cool. Like, she's so sweet, so tiny too. Like you think of celebrities that they're larger than life, but she was actually, small, petite, really, really cute, really adorable, really, really sweet. And then I went back to the dressing room and I let the other girls know, I'm like, just so you know, Janet Jackson's in the house. And we kind of were like, okay. And then so like, thankfully I couldn't see her watching me, but just knowing that she was watching me was like,
You, oh, oh my God, Angel, you had to be nervous. I mean, were you shaking knowing that she was watching you perform?
yeah. I actually
Oh,
had to change my song because typically on Sunday nights we would do like ballads or throwaway songs that we really couldn't do during the weekend, because in Prana you had to do like top 40 or high energy pageanty kind of mixes. So like on Sundays I would kind of do like old school throwbacks. So I actually was going to do a ballad. I actually changed it to do an upbeat so that way she wouldn't be like bored or unentertained. And so I changed my song, and then yeah, she tipped. She loved the show from what our managers told us after. And then the second time was when it was the first night of her residency, and we did a Janet Jackson tribute, me and the other girls and men of Piranha. We often did group routines or production numbers, and so we did a Janet Jackson tribute where we all did Janet Jackson songs with like
and
choreography and stuff.
does she ever give you, like, were you ever able to talk to her and see what she actually thought of the shows?
The first time I got to, we didn't talk to her before. We just like talked to her. We talked to her before. We didn't talk to her after the show. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the second time, my manager actually got video of her, like kind of like living for me performing. So from that, I gathered that she liked it.
Oh my God, girl, that's so fucking exciting. To be able to perform in front of a celebrity is, I mean, I would say the most exciting thing. I've had slightly something like that happen in my career. Back in the day when we first started, probably about like 6 years at this point, maybe 8, I had the final girl. So Adrienne King is the actress, but she played Alice in Friday the 13th. And she was the girl who survived the massacre and was floating in the canoe at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her. She came to a drag show and watched us, and that was like the closest I got to having a celebrity in the audience.
It's something like, and it's just really was the location, being Vegas and being the only LGBT nightclub. was, you know, a big deal. So a lot of people would come in. I got to meet people from Pose. I got to meet
Well, didn't you actually get to take a selfie with Frankie Grande?
I did. I was 1 degree away from Ariana. It was nice. It was the same night. It was the same night that Janet was there, and we saw him, and he pulled me in London. We took a selfie. He put it on his Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, I was 1 degree away from Ariana.
Oh my God, that is definitely exciting. Be like, send this picture to your sister, please.
Right.
Well, also, Angel, you know, I've heard because you meet so many celebrities and you meet so many people, sometimes you've met celebrities and you've hung out with them the whole night and may have not even realized they were a celebrity.
I have really bad eyesight, so like I just, you know, I have contacts, but it only fixes them so much. I have like a rare eye condition that prevents my vision from being 20/20. And so I was hosting the show one night, and Daniel Francesi, pardon if I said it right, like came up to me while I was like on the sidelines, and, you know, just clacking his fan, having a good time, kikiing, cutting up. We were like twerking. And then like he went away, tipped the girl, came back, and we were kind of just like kikiing all night long. And it wasn't until the next day when I saw him on Instagram and saw that he was at Piranha and in Las Vegas. I private messaged him. I was like, were you at Piranha last night? And he goes, yeah, we hung out. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. Like, I just thought it was just like some, you know, little bear hanging out, having a good time. And yeah, it turned out it was him.
God, girl. And so that's Daniel Ferenzi, who was actually from Mean Girls and also the HBO gay TV show Looking, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
go
And
again, Coco.
he is such a sweetheart. I got to meet, I think like 3 times I've met him, and I even got to sit down and have lunch with him out in LA at DragCon. He just sat down with a whole bunch of the queens and just, he lives for fucking drag queens.
Yeah.
He loves them so much.
Yeah, he's a great supporter.
Was he shocked that you didn't realize it was him?
I'm pretty sure, and I did apologize, and I told him, I explained to him, I have really bad eyesight. You know, in the club, there's no windows, no doors, nothing. So like there's just the club lights, and so it's really dark. So I did apologize, and I hope he took it.
Well, girl, don't you think him quoting Mean Girl quotes the whole time would have given you a hint?
He wasn't though. He was just like, yes, cocking his fan, having a good time, drinking. Like there was no giveaway. Like,
okay, well, that's so fetch. Well, awesome. And you know, again, you have met so many celebrities, you've done so many amazing things. I hear a little rumor. Oh, you might have even done poppers with the one and only Sam Smith.
yes, it was actually my last like weekend at Piranha, I want to say, and he brought his makeup artist to Piranha to celebrate her birthday, and he was just having a good time. He went up on stage. He didn't sing or anything. He just went up on stage, presented her, like watched the show, tipped the girls afterwards. We got to take photos with him. And he was just having a good time. And he comes to the side thing and he lifts something like to my nose. And I look down and I recognize what it is. Like I know. And so I'm like, well, how often? I mainly did it. I don't do poppers. I'm a professional. And I was like, well, when in Rome, how often am I gonna say that how often do people get to say this? So I was like, I didn't do a lot, just a little bit, let him know that I was like, I'm cool, I'm hip. And he was having a great time. My friend, one of my other, my husband's best friend, who's a good friend of the family, he was there that night, and we were sitting on the patio, and Sam Smith literally just comes and sits like right in the middle of us. So, and his girlfriends that he brought were good fans of him. So he was like talking to them, like having like really deep conversation, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm next to Sam Smith, like he's right here.
Oh. Did you get to like touch any of him? Because girl, I have to say he is fucking fine.
I am a good, you know, Catholic married woman, so I did not. But there definitely was people who did.
Well, I will say if Sam Smith shoved anything in my face, I would just be like, give it to me. Well, I love that. I love that you have so much tea to spill. I mean, you had to come across so many people working out there in Vegas, especially being at the one and only Piranha nightclub. Did you work at any other nightclubs or maybe any big I'm sorry, not Hollywood, but Las Vegas shows at all?
I did in the beginning. I worked because Piranha's the only nightclub. The rest are like bars. Not to say that they're bad. They're all of them are really really great except for one, and that was actually the one that I got my start off. It was Free Zone, and it's just shady dealing, shady people, shady business, shady everything. So when I left Free Zone, I was one of the few who worked at everywhere. You know, I appeared at Charlie's from time to time. I worked at the Phoenix. I worked at Flex. I loved working all the shows. And then when I got hired onto Piranha, if you work full time, you really can't work anywhere else because they kind of want that, you know, exclusivity of, you know, well, why are we going to go here? Why are we going to go to Piranha to see her if we can go here to see her kind of thing?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I did work at all the clubs, and then once I got Piranha, I was like, okay, you know. Plus it was it was stressful, but it was also really really great because it's like you had to like constantly have new looks and new ideas and new things because every weekend we were taking photos, so it's just like you don't want to like stand out in the wrong way. So I don't even think I would be able to focus on anything else.
I hear you, girl. It could definitely be intimidating being in that large of a drag scene with some of the most polished queens, and you always want to stand out for the right reasons. So I definitely hear it, bitch. Now, tell me a little bit. Now, I know that you've gone to DragCon a few years, correct?
Yes.
So you went the first 2 years.
Yes.
Girl, I'm going to tell you a dirty secret.
Do it.
I was there too, both years.
I didn't go in drag. I actually was gonna go in drag for the first time this year. Of course, Miss Corona done messed up everyone's plans. I was actually gonna go in drag for the first time because I didn't go in drag because I was like, I don't want to be like in drag and like in heels and girdle and everything. So I didn't go in drag.
Girl, that's the best part, to be featured. You know, even though a lot of them are there to see the Rue Girls, it's so nice to see people from all over appreciate your drag and who want to stop and get to know your character a little bit, even though you're not a famous bitch, well, semi-famous. And I love that you were out there to go to DragCon. What was your favorite experience about DragCon?
Well, in the beginning, I felt like the deals were a lot better.
Oh, yes.
Like everything was like really, really on sale. And then of course with popularity comes demand. So if your product is in demand, you could charge more. So the second year, I feel like everything was a lot more expensive. There really was there was really no sales.
Right.
But like the first year, it was great because it was a very historical moment. Like drag had reached such a level that there is a convention dedicated to it. Like it reached such mainstream and was so like popular, and like, you know, everyone was getting into it. So like that was definitely like a push that drag was here to stay.
Absolutely. And you know, I was lucky the first year. I got to meet RuPaul. I got to take a picture with her. But during the big like meeting where RuPaul does his big speech and everything, he did a Q&A that year. And I was actually one of the girls he asked a question for, and you should have seen his reaction when he asked my name and where I was from. I'm like, my name's Maliena Bitchcock, and he's like, what's your name again? And oh my God, we have that on video. It was the best reaction ever because getting RuPaul to like react to my drag name, and it was lovely. But I love DragCon because it really gives you the opportunity to see people who do what you do, and really gives you a chance to also fill up your fucking drag closet because bitches, like you said, that first year there was some great deals. You get some wigs and jewelry and some good shit.
Yeah, it was literally one-stop shopping.
Oh my. Now, speaking of DragCon, I believe it was the second year you were there. I heard a little birdie that if we watch season 7, finale of RuPaul's Drag Race, we could spot you several times within that episode. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was part of my birthday present that year. Well, it was kind of like a thing. My husband would buy me tickets to DragCon, give me some spending money to spend at DragCon. And then, well, that year he bought me VIP tickets to the finale. So I got to go to the finale. We were like in good seat. We were on the floor. And not like literally on the floor, but the main floor. The main
Sure,
floor. And it was
sure.
just, it was so it was an experience. I don't think I would ever do it again because it was so long. It was like about 8 to 9 hours
Wait,
in a
what?
girdle, in a
It's a
gown.
9-hour event?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you were in that in drag, correct?
Yes.
Oh my God, were you dying?
I was dying and I was annoyed because, well, first off, when we get there, you know, like that thing of like the person that's gonna sit in front of you is gonna be the person that's blocking your view. Well, the person in front of me was a drag queen and they wore this big triple stacked wig. And so like I'm the whole time I'm like leaning to like see behind it. There's actually a meme of it out there somewhere. I made a meme right after. And so that, and then the person next to us, because we were in the aisle, thankfully. And then the person next to us, every break, they had to go pee. So I
Oh,
had to get up in my gown, waddle over, let them out to go pee. And I would have to stand and wait because, of course, they're going to have to come back and I would have to get up again. So rather than getting up again, I just stayed up. And then I'd waddle back in, sat down. So, like, I was getting up and sitting down a lot. But it definitely was a great experience. I did love it.
well, I love that bitch. But you know, I heard one of those times where that needy bitch who had kept needing to go to the bathroom while you were standing up in the aisle, I heard the one and only Miley Cyrus actually complimented your costume.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I was just so annoyed that, like, I kind of, like, brushed it off. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, you know, I really wasn't paying attention. And then, like, I recognized the outfit, recognized the hair. And then when I looked back and watched the episode and saw that she was there, I was like, oh my God, she totally complimented me. And I just treated her like it was nothing. Like,
So you didn't realize that was Miley Cyrus?
no, again, I have really bad eyesight.
Girl, I just am happy I'm not a celebrity right now. You'd be like, who are you?
You are a celebrity, though. You're Maliena Bitchcock of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock.
Well, I'm getting there. Hopefully one day it'll go on a bigger level. Right now, I'm just going in debt doing this. But hey, it's fun. That's what's important. Well, I love that so much. Now, have you had, now you've had an amazing drag career. After living in a life of luxury in Vegas, what would make you actually move here to the slums of Oregon?
Oh my God, Oregon is just so beautiful. I wouldn't say it's slums at all. It's so green. Um, I just Vegas is a fun city. It is fun to live. You know, if you're single, looking to party and have a good time. I've been doing the most since I was 16. So I had already done my partying and being a wild, crazy girl. Like it was time to settle down and find a forever home. And you know, me and my husband we didn't really fall in love with Vegas. I loved the people, loved where I worked, loved what I did, but it didn't feel like home. And so we were like, you know, Oregon, and you know, it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful all year round. Like it's never too hot. Because I love the cold. We both do. And also too, it was nice when I moved here that it was more family friendly. Like my niece, who we take care of, 16 years old now, she was able to come to shows. My mother-in-law, who also lives with us, she was able to come to shows and see me perform. She's seen me get in drag and leave the house, but she's never got to see me perform. So it was nice that here it's more family oriented, so to speak, that they could be a part of my drag and it not be something that they just, you know, never get to enjoy or have to wait to enjoy.
Okay, I love that so much. Now, as we know, you are very well known out in Portland. I mean, you host several shows. Um, Tell us a little bit about what you in Portland and working in the Portland drag scene a little bit.
Well, it definitely was the same feeling of moving to Vegas. Like, you know, I had to, you know, start again, like, because everyone had their cliques, their friends. And, you know, here I was just kind of like figuring out what was what and finding my way around the cafeteria, so to speak, wondering who I'm going to sit with. And so like but it was different this time because I feel it was more so worse because people saw me and like, you know, like you said, right away they get intimidated by me
Right.
because I have, you know, earrings, styled hair, costumes, rhinestones, and like really just things that are like things. Like they don't, you know, make or break who I am, but like a lot of people were intimidated and didn't know really how to approach me because of that. And it breaks my heart because it's like, I'm really not like that at all. Like, I'm a fan of all drag. I think all drag is valid. I love the diversity that Portland has. I love really just everything about Portland, and I love working everywhere.
Ooh, yes. Now, I know that you're very well known for working at Stag with all the beautiful men. Now, you are a married woman. Does it ever get hard working with all those gorgeous men?
No, because what all beauty is sexy. All men are sexy. All bodies are sexy. I have a wonderful bear at home who, you know, is my biggest rock, my biggest support when I feel like I can't do things. He's always there to tell me that I can. And, you know, he's always supportive, never really, you know, always, you know, has a better style than me sometimes. You know, like I know what I have and there's really no one who can compete with that.
Oh, I love that so much. And I also have a love at home. I've been together with my partner almost 5 years, and it's weird because before, when she was single, Maliena was all about flirting with the boys, and now it's like, I'll flirt with you, but I want to be more of a tease now. And you know, things definitely change, and your motivations change too, especially when you have, like you said, that rock at home who's always going to be your number one fan. It's like
Yeah.
their opinion's almost the only opinion that matters besides your own.
Hmm.
So speaking of Stag, you are very well known for hosting shows, including a brunch show that they do at Stag. What are we to expect from you on the microphone?
It's just a good time. I think I'm a good time, but I really go off of energy. Like if the crowd is like, you know, laughing, I can tell they're having a good time. Like you won't get me to shut up. I'll be like, you know, blah 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 blah, blah like kiki da 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 da. But if like it's like they're kind of like, okay, we just want to see the show. I'll be like, okay, now bring it to the stage. But it's a good time. I feel like it's a lot of, you know, great performers, um, and you know, good food, and it's a lot of fun. I actually, you know, was very honored when I got to be a part of the Stag family.
I love that. Now, would you say that you're a funny bitch on the microphone?
I like to think so. I laugh at myself.
They're all
I
gonna laugh
get
at
a
you.
good I get a good joke in there every once in a while. I get a good read or get a good like where like, oh, I said that. That was good.
Oh boy, I love it so much. Now, tell us a little bit of what we are actually to expect from an Angel Phoenix performance.
I would say first and foremost variety. Like I usually try to have like one ballad, one comedy, one either illusion or delusions as I call them, because I don't actually try to look like the person. I just do like things reminiscent of the person. Like
Right.
I very rarely change my makeup for anybody except if I'm doing Selena, I do a red lip just out of memory and respect. But you know, I try to like my drag dad raised me to learn multiple songs from each genre. So that way, well, one, you have a wide variety of songs to choose from. And two, there's never, like, if it's a theme show, you can never be excluded from it because you're like, oh, country? Oh, I know Jolene. I know 9 to 5. I got you. And so, and I love that too. And also, too, like, when I'm at a show, my husband records me. So he records the videos and he posts it on YouTube. So when people go through the channel, I don't want them to see like, oh, she did this routine 4 times. Or, oh, she really likes this routine because that's all she does. So I want them to like have variety to look at as well.
I get that, and that definitely makes an interesting performance for the audience. So I definitely think that's fantastic that you do that. Now, you mentioned that you are known for bringing comedy to the stage in your performances. Describe some of your comedy and some of those more funny performances that you do.
Well, I just love making people laugh. Like, you may not be the best dancer or the best, illusionist, but if you can make people laugh, you'll get their love and respect. Because especially in a time like this, everyone loves to laugh. A good laugh and a good cry are like what everyone needs in their life. So I like to, mix like sound clips with, popular songs that match the clip, or like have a common theme. Like I have a sex comedy mix that talks about like sucking dick and all this stuff. Oh, pardon my
Oh,
language. I have like
it's
a body
fine.
positive mix that, lets people know that, it's okay to be whatever you want to be and be sexy as that. And it's comedy, but then it also has like a message behind it.
I love that. And, again, those performances that make people feel those emotions are really the strongest. And you mentioned you love the ones that make people laugh, you love
Yeah.
the ones that make them cry. I feel both those emotions while I'm doing my makeup. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, you're a fucking funny bitch. And others I'm like, oh my God, just let me be pretty.
Just let these eyelashes stay on.
Oh my God, lips and lashes are the worst fucking battle. They can destroy your whole face instantly. Oh my gosh. Well, girl, I love this so much. I'm having so much fun interviewing you. And again, you're not the big, bad, scary wolf everyone thinks you are. You may look this fabulous creature, but you are so sweet, and I love it.
Yeah, like and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I wanted people who maybe like don't get to work with me, or maybe don't have the opportunity to see me, to know that all the same things that everyone goes through, the insecurity, the lack of confidence sometimes, I go through it too. Like it may not look on the outside, but literally, again, these are all just things. Again, I have a lot of these because of where I worked. Had I not worked at Piranha, my closet probably wouldn't be this big, and I wouldn't have fallen in love with all this stuff. Now that I've fallen in love with all this stuff, like I want it. But like I love all drag. I'm first and foremost a fan of drag. Like I love watching everybody. I love watching people who aren't what I do. The I'm a fan of the like people or the performers who are artistic, bring creativity. You know, it's not always about shining and having custom couture. Like it's just about performing. And a lot of these performers in Portland, like I said, are really artistic, really creative, things that I really don't do because it's just not my thing. And I love watching that. Like I love Dragula. I love really alternative queens. Like I find myself loving those a lot just because it's like they do songs that I've never heard of. I love going to a show and finding a song that I've never heard of.
Okay. I love that. And it's funny because as you're saying that, it's making me think of one of the last times we performed together, which was around Christmas at Stag. And I fucking dressed up as Krampus and I spanked a baby on stage during my performance.
Yeah, I love that. Like I love it. And like I said, I just wanted people to see that there was, a person underneath all of this.
Well, I love it. And
I really like I really don't know how to take, like when you say like legendary or like megastar, or like people say it, I really don't know how to take it. I kind of just like smile and say happy birthday, because like I don't see myself that way. I see myself as like the same beginner when I first started. So it's like when I hear things like that, I'm like, hi. I just want to like hide.
I hear you. It's hard to accept those compliments, especially when we're around worst critics. We're first and foremost to say, well, I should have done that differently. I should not have done that. And it's like when you hear these things from people like, oh my God, you're a star. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, give me your wig. You're just like, stop.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, give me your wig.
Okay.
No. So
I don't have, as you can see, I don't have many.
oh my gosh. And half of those are fucking locks by lilac.
Oh, she is just I'm speechless every time. Like even though I know she's gonna deliver me a great product, every time I'm just gagged. Like she's never just left me without words. Every wig, everything she's ever touched, everything she's ever done, I'm just like, wow.
She is one of the most talented people I've ever met and one of the kindest. And it's funny because I think she's going to appreciate hearing this during our interview is we were planning our interview and me and Angel are talking like, so what time do you want to do the interview? And we're both like, well, we need to work around Lilac's auction tonight because we both want to participate in that. So
Yeah.
but you gotta love her hairstyles. In fact, we're both wearing Locks by Lilac hair today. So I love it. And you know, if you do need hair and you need someone you trust who is affordable and you just really are gonna love the work they're gonna do, look up Locks by Lilac. That bitch knows what she's doing.
Or follow her on Instagram, Lilac Does Drag.
Yes, and if you are seeing this interview before then, go and check out her drag auction tonight at 6 p.m. Monday, as she auctions off like 7 fucking wigs. So it's going to be a battle to the death.
It is. I got my tax return and my stimulus, so I'm ready.
Girl, I can't wait to see all these poor queens with their stimulus checks be like, bitch, give me that wig. Well, you know what, honey? Tell me a little bit. Oh, God, I dropped your card. Actually, a bit about your performances. Where do you actually get the inspiration of creating some of these performances that you actually produce?
Really, just whatever like I enjoy myself. In the beginning, it kind of was do what people like. And then as I just elevated my career and people start to know who I was and know who I am, I then started to sneak a little bit of myself in there. So it's usually like, when it comes to like my comedy mixes, I kind of just think of a central theme, bad relationships, being single, breakup, body positivity. And then I work around that. I get songs that kind of go with that theme. And then I find clips to kind of go with that theme or characters that I love. Like I love Beauty and the Beast. So I have a Belle performance. I love Bonquiqui, so I have a Bonquiqui performance. I have a White Chicks performance because it's a movie that I love. So it's mainly things that I enjoy and songs that I like, or like, working, I also like doing mixes because for one, I know I get bored of hearing the same song for a certain amount of time. So I like to bring variety, like, start off maybe with like a really, really slow song and then, have like a whip crack and then all of a sudden do a song that completely doesn't go with that song, but just to keep people on their toes and keep people guessing.
Absolutely. And I love that so much, Angel. And again, I am always mesmerized watching you on stage. I mean, you did a gift wrapping routine this last Christmas where I think I could not stop fucking laughing.
That actually came from the Hunty Games. It was around Christmas, and me and my drag father were brainstorming what to do. Like, because we're like, well, we wanted to stand out because everyone does Grinch, everyone does Rudolph, everyone does Frosty. So we wanted a way to stand out. Like, how do I make Christmas stand out? And so at that time, it's actually Jimmy Fallon's aunt who was featured. Oh, no. Jimmy Kimmel's aunt, Aunt Chippy. And there was a popular segment at the time, and she did gift wrapping. And so we're like, boom, we got it. We just have to figure out the songs, cut it, edit, and it was off. And I actually haven't performed that song since the Hunty Games.
Oh.
I haven't had a chance to revisit it. And so this last Christmas was the first time in almost 4 years that I got to bring the character back.
Oh my gosh, that's really exciting. And again, it was a great performance where I could not stop laughing. Now, you seem like you are such a confident queen. Can you tell me a little bit how drag has helped affect that confidence?
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel like I'm doing my job then. Because I am confident. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I do. But, every once in a while, I have those moments where I'm like, nobody likes me. Nobody likes what I have to offer. These girls are hanging out. No one's inviting me to hang out. Like, I get in my head like that. And so, like, drag in the beginning helped me realize, I can be beautiful at any size. I can be beautiful I'm beautiful no matter what. And it definitely has helped elevate my confidence a lot. Like, oh, sorry. Oh my God, I keep burping and I'm
Girl,
only drinking tea.
it's a wreck, girl. That's what alcohol does to you.
I know, but I'm drinking like, it's not alcohol yet. But so like, yeah, drag definitely, brings out my confidence. It's like a character, like Beyonce as Sasha Fierce, when I'm on the side of the stage and I hear, now bring to the stage, Angel Phoenix, like I literally black out and someone else takes over.
Mm, mm.
And then I come to at the end, like, what did I just do?
I love that so much though, because I relate. It's like sometimes you go into a drag show and you transform into Angel Phoenix or you transform into Maliena Bitchcock, and it's kind of funny you say blackout, because there are times I've done a show and it's like I'll get home and my boyfriend starts asking me about the show and I'll look at him like, huh? Like that happened? And he's like, where the fuck were you? And I'm like, I don't know. But no, I love it. Now, it kind of baffles me, Angel, that you said that even you struggle with wondering if people like you or not. And it's funny because we were doing the pre-interview yesterday and I was having so much fun talking to you. You were
Yeah, I told you it's better to meet me outside of the club.
you were so personable. I mean, literally, it was an hour and a half before we even knew it, and we were just chit-chatting about random fucking shit.
Yeah.
I love that underneath all the glam and the fierceness, you are just an everyday, geeky, just lovable bear. Oh, I can use the term bear, right?
Yes.
Okay. But you were just, I love it because, again, I was one of those queens that were initially intimidated. It's like, I hope she likes me. I hope she doesn't think like I'm ugly or anything.
Ooh, I
And
would never.
oh, thank you. Because, bitch, I've been following you. And I remember I was sadly one of those bitches you probably wanted to slap in the dressing room where I was completely fucking fangirling. I'm like, oh, I wish you with Angel Phoenix. I just want to get close to her and just see what her style looks like. And oh my God, but you're so stunning. And I love it so much. Now, speaking of, why don't you tell me, Angel, what does drag mean to you as a person?
Well, drag for me means, big hair, jewelry, for me. That's like what I want for myself. But for what I feel drag is drag is art, and art has no rules. Really, if you're just, having fun and doing what you want to do, you're doing drag. Whether you are male presenting, female presenting, non-binary, bio, faux, whichever, like if you're, having the courage to, put some rouge and spackle on your face and going out in front of an audience and being really vulnerable, it's a vulnerable moment to stand in front of an audience and deliver a performance that means something to you. It's letting the world see inside of who you are. So drag is a expression for people. It's often, sometimes people can't articulate their thoughts properly, or, in a good way or a bad way. So, being able to do drag is letting them, I'm hurting, or I'm happy, or, I want you guys to feel this. I want you to get a little bit of insight into who I am. It's definitely, it's art, it's beauty, it's passion, it's so much fun. Don't you have so much fun performing?
Yeah, and it really means a lot that you say all that, because it's such an expression, it's such an outlet for you to, I mean, there's days where I'm having the worst days, and knowing that I have that weekend to do drag, and I'll even literally the week of, like, I need to change my music right now because I have to get those certain emotions out. And it's such a platform to make you feel good about yourself. And it's even sometimes good to kind of get your maybe anger or resentments or shit out too, or just be silly. And I love drag because it's without drag, I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like I would be here. In fact, Angel, could you imagine your life without drag at this point?
I cannot. mainly because I'm still paying off a lot of the stuff, but I could not. And this quarantine has definitely, because drag for me was my de-stressor, you know, like putting on my makeup was my time of like meditation, so to speak. I would have music playing. I would just be in my thoughts. I'd be so focused on putting, so it would relax me and calm me. So like, even with this quarantine, I found myself putting on makeup just because I wanted a sense of normalcy in my life, because I was working, you know, every weekend to then now like home every weekend. Like I wasn't even getting to do my boy job, which I love. So like I can't. Eventually one day there will be a time when I'm ready to, you know, hang Angel up, and then but it's not anytime soon.
Bitch, I'm gonna be like Darcel at 89 years old, still doing drag. I just, I cannot imagine my life without Maliena at
Mm.
all. I just couldn't, and it scares me to even think of that. Now, Angel, why don't you tell me what you think sets Angel Phoenix apart from other queens?
Um, See, I don't even think I'm set apart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see myself as like, I feel my drag is a dime a dozen. You can go online and see a bunch of queens who look like me and do what I do, but
No,
like,
no, lies, Liza Minnelli, girl, because you are such a unique queen, and you may not be painted like a monster or a weirdo like me or other queens, but you're still unique. I mean, I feel like your style is very Angel Phoenix, and I have not seen another style like that. Sorry to interrupt you or call you a liar.
oh no, you're fine. No, like, oh, thank you, like, happy birthday, thank you. um, but I would definitely, I'm very caring. You know, like, if you were to ask me, like, oh, where'd you get that jewelry, or who made that? Like, I'm very free with advice. Like, I like, oh, you like, a lot of queens will be like, oh, a designer. Like, they don't want to give their secrets away. I give my secrets away.
Me too.
Like, when queens ask, oh, how do you put your earrings on? I'm like, oh, glue dots. They're like, you don't use super glue? I'm all, no, because like, I want to save my ears. I want to have pretty ears when I take these off.
Oh, girl, I have to tell you the worst story. So, around Christmas time, I was butchering my ears with super glue to a point where my ears looked like Freddy Krueger's face.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and you're right. Glue dots have saved my life. To earrings, to putting on nails, to almost anything. I mean, glue dots are a lifesaver. For you queens who need a tip, listen to the holy goddess Angel Phoenix herself. Glue dots. Stay away from the super glue.
A lot of queens I know use both. Like, they haven't had success with glue dots, but they do both and they have success. I've had success. It hasn't, like, these are on and these are like heavy.
All right. So, what's something the audience watching who may not know really should know about Angel Phoenix?
I am very down to earth. I'm very humble. I'm very approachable. I am truly like, a lot of people like probably think like, oh, she doesn't like me, when actually in reality I'm like huge fans of them. Like, I love their drag. I love liking their photos. I love it all. Um, but I'm first and foremost a fan of drag. Like, you know, I definitely have a little bit of a dark sense of humor. I probably say things that I shouldn't.
Don't we all?
um, but I come from a good place. Like, I'm just having fun and being stupid and totally random, totally goofy. Like, if you look at my Facebook, it's just total random thoughts, and it's nothing that I would hope people don't take too seriously. I hope by now people like understand my sense of humor and who I am and what I am.
Absolutely. And I think you're a sweet queen, and you're definitely, like you said, there's a mode where you're allowed to just be in your mindset of being a professional and just doing your thing. And there's other times where you're just free being silly and just having a kiki with your girls.
No.
So, honey, what are we to expect next from the one and only superstar Angel Phoenix?
Well, until this quarantine list, you'll find me hosting a live show called Way Back Wednesdays, where I take videos that my husband has recorded and I put them together in a show kind of format, just to give myself something to do and to give myself, you know, an outlet. But I also encourage, if you are a performer, burlesque, live singer, magician, bio, I encourage anyone, if you would like to be a part of it, to send me videos. I think I figured out how to get videos. If you would like to be a part of it as well, definitely send me some videos that you have. Or if you want to record a video once we're done with this interview, since you're already there, you know, definitely send it to me. I would love to feature everybody because, you know, like I pay tip information, you know, to kind of help performers because, you know, a lot of queens I'm very blessed that drag has never been my full-time job. I love it like a very passionate hobby, which I think a lot of people will find shocking about me. They're like, wait, you're not like a pageant queen, you're not a career queen. Like, no, like drag is my de-stressor. And all these things just happen to be things that I like, that I'm like, okay, I want to buy that, I want to get that, I want to get that. But, you know, serving is my means of income, and I eventually would like to own my own restaurant one day. But so like a lot of queens, you know, that was their livelihood. Tips were how they made their living. And so I want to try to help as many people as I can. Maybe try to recruit or reoccur, trying to get the money, trying to get the tips that they, you know, are missing out on because they can't perform at, you know, their clubs. And, you know, I know how I feel not performing. I can only imagine how others, especially when it's their livelihood.
Absolutely. And I really respect that you're doing that for queens, and definitely going to take you up on that offer, and I'll message you outside of this interview. But I think it's fantastic you're doing that because there are a lot of us that lost our incomes, and you know, this whole pandemic has destroyed a lot of things for people. And I personally, this is my income. This is how I make money. This is, I did have a day job, but I lost that. And, you know, it's not easy to find work sometimes, especially when it's in such high demand, especially right now where everyone's going to be looking for work as soon as we open back up. I mean, it's hard. But I love that you're always creating a platform, Angel. As far as what I know about you, you always want to have a platform that supports the people around you because I feel like you personally care about those people.
I do. And, you know, it has nothing to do with whether we get along or not. I think there's a quote by Tupac, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's kind of like something that I live my life by. You know, just because we're like not cool or we're not friends doesn't mean you've made me as an enemy either. You know, I want to see you eat and be successful. You're just not going to be eating at my table.
Right.
But I want you to have success. I want everybody to be successful. You know, it has nothing to do with how I feel about you. How I feel about people are just, you know, my personal feelings. I don't wish ill on anybody at the end of the day. I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to find their happiness and find their happy ending, whatever that may be for them.
I love that so much. And bitch, you are such a fabulous bitch. I love it so much. Now, the question on everyone's lips that I'm just going to ask you because it's my show, I'm going to do what the fuck I want. Why the fuck are you not on RuPaul's fucking Drag Race yet, girl?
I've started video the last 2 times, and it's just it goes back to like, you know, it just goes back to like I'm kind of afraid.
Really?
Like, I'm afraid of the success that it will bring. I'm afraid of, you know, getting the villain edit. I'm afraid of, you know, because the fandom is really, really, you know, they're really passionate about it. There's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, girls get death threats. Girls, you know, aren't liked. And, you know, it would be unfortunate to go onto it and lose. I can understand in the case of some queens, they deserve to have their career taken away from them, but a lot of girls just going on the show, and I can imagine how frustrating it is. Like, I've done drag competitions similar to RuPaul's Drag Race, maybe not on that level, but it's stressful having to come up with a new theme. And, you know, if judges are constantly telling you you're not good enough, you know, that could cause, you know, frustrations and get in your head. And if you're going through that, you unfortunately get the villain edit. And you may
Right.
not be a villain in real life, but you're just stressed out and have anxiety, and that's causing you to come off that way, but you're really not that way. And secondly, the snatch game messes me up every time, because it's one thing to make a mix to be that person. It's one thing to have to change your voice to sound like that person and just kind of like think of jokes that they would say. Like, I'm funny and I'm situationally funny. I'm funny in the situation. But if you tell me to be funny, I don't think I can be funny because I
Oh,
wouldn't.
oh my gosh. But girl, I'm curious because I feel like that's something I have wondered is what would you do for Snatch Game if you were in that position?
I would probably, well, originally I did characters, and then I found out that due to copyright, you can't do a character. You have to do that person who does the character. So for
Mhm.
example, I couldn't be able to do Bonquiqui. I would have to do Angela Johnson. I could bring Bonquiqui to the table and like talk as Bonquiqui, but ultimately I'm not going to be Bonquiqui. I'm going to be Angela Johnson.
Yeah, and they actually look down at you coming as a character instead of the person. They want you to be the person.
Well,
I'm per-
it's not allowed, and I understand because it's copyright. You're literally not allowed. That's why everyone you see is people, not you don't see Samantha Jones or, you know, um,
Bundy.
Carrie Bradshaw. You don't see those characters. You see the Sarah Jessica Parker. You see, you know. So it's just hard. Um, yeah, I do everything. I do the looks. I, I do the performance, but then Snatch Game just messes me up.
Well, I'm personally working on a little project that I might do an impersonation, and I don't mind telling you because it's for nothing mainstream or anything. But I'm going to go completely out of my comfort zone, and my makeup's going to be something that none of you have ever seen. And I'm going to do an exact, hopefully, duplicate of the one and only Sandra Bernhard. If you do you know who that is?
I want to say like something political.
No, she's a comedian. She's from
Oh,
Roseanne from back in the day. She had a singing career. She's a lesbian. She is fucking fabulous and her humor is very dry, but her look is very woman. So it would be interesting to see me actually look like a real woman for once.
I loved your Carol Baskin. That was hilarious. I
Oh,
died when I
girl,
saw
that
that.
was a struggle. It's so funny when you draw on wrinkles. You're like, oh my God, but I want to be pretty. Well, Angel, we're almost done with this interview, but we're going to still play a game. Before we let you go, how can people follow or support you?
My Venmo is Angel Phoenix. Tips are always greatly appreciated, never required. Any tips that I do receive, I donate to local queens or queens that I know that are not having the best of luck. I try to help as many people as I can. So all tips I receive will be donated to queens like during live shows. I keep it in my Venmo and then I'll tip a queen during a live show, or I'll just, here's something. It's not much, but here's something. But yeah, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Angel Fiery Phoenix. Yeah.
I love it. And I love that that's something that you're doing and supporting your fellow Queens, Angel, because again, there are a lot of us that are struggling. So to know that you're doing that, it's showing the platform you present yourself as a performer and a person. And
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you this that you're probably going to just laugh at me and shrug at me and never message me again after this. But I fucking loved you before this interview, but now I fucking adore you. I think you are not
You.
just a fabulous queen anymore. I think you're a fabulous person.
Thank you. Well, it depends on who you ask.
Girl, same here. There's plenty of people that think I'm just a heinous fucking ugly clown.
But I will say that if I'm a very patient person, a very forgiving person, if I don't mess or I don't, if I'm not on your team, you earned it. It wasn't just I decided to not like you. You earned it. You cashed in your coins and you got what you got.
I hear you. I always say if you're willing to pour the gasoline on the bridge and light it on fire, it's your fault, not mine. Well, honey, one last question
Yes.
before we go into our little game. What did you think of your experience on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock?
I had a great time. Like I said, like we talked about, like after we did the, kind of like letting me know how things were gonna go down the pre-interview, like we stayed on the phone for another hour and we were like talking. I enjoyed it because, and I enjoy all these interviews because it lets me into the mindset of queens that I may, that like maybe don't talk to me, don't work with me. I'm able to see them and queens, kings, and performers that I got to meet because of you. Like, I feel like I know them now. So if I were to work with them in a show or if I saw a flyer with them on it, I would be like, hey, let's go see this person. So I think it's a great platform that you have created. And I was honored to be able to get into it.
You were honored, bitch. You messaged me to ask to be on the show, and I'm like, I looked at my partner, shitting myself, saying Angel Phoenix wants to let me interview her, and I'm privileged. And thank you so much, because to me, I have to be very honest. This platform isn't about making money. If it does make money, great. We can always use it. I love money if I get it. This platform is about supporting the people I love and supporting the art of performing. And there's so many people who haven't felt supported in their careers. So if I can take this platform, make them feel fucking special for an hour and a half, and give other people the opportunity to just get to know them, why the fuck not? I mean, I feel like it's fun. I enjoy doing it. And it also gives me an opportunity to get to know you fucking bitches, because I get to see a different side of you, and I love it.
Aww.
Well, boys and girls and all those in between, if you've enjoyed this interview with the one and only Angel Phoenix, please look into the description where you can find her Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. And please tip this bitch a little something, because she looks amazing and she spilled all the tea today. Now, with that said, boys and girls, if you enjoy Bitch Talk with Bitchcock and you do watch all the episodes, please feel free to tip me a little something also, because I really do love the tip.
Just the
But
tip.
just the tip, but again, never mandatory, always appreciated. So I do want to announce that our next guest is coming up for episode 22 on May 6th. We're going to have the one and only Ellie Allure Safari. So, oh, yeah. So make sure to tune in. We're going to go dive full throttle into that interview and learn all the tea. It's going to be a fantastic interview. Now, Miss Thang, are you ready to play a game?
I am ready.
Well, perfect. I like to play a little game to get you lubed up first. And this game we call Truth or Drink. Do you have any alcohol with you?
I do. I've actually been kind of drinking the whole time.
Well, good, me too, girl. I actually experimented on this really fabulous gay drink that they call White Claw. Ooh, it's delicious. I love it. It makes me feel gay and sparkly all at once.
No. And
For
it's good, and it's good for your, waist.
Yes. And you know how this game is going to work, my love, is we're going to play Truth or Drink, and I'm going to ask you a question, and you can spill the tea or take a sip. Are you ready?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, of course, I'm a shady bitch, so I'm going to give you very hard questions. And
Okay.
speaking of shady, for number one, what is the shadiest thing you've ever done in drag?
um, Shady. I don't know.
Are you just too nice that you don't have any shady stories?
No, because I probably didn't think it was shady. I probably thought they deserved it or had it coming. So
It
I
was
thought it
their
was
fault.
I thought it was just desserts. But I actually it wasn't done intentionally. it's just, I had so much on my mind. I was bringing the girls back on stage, to like, the final bows, because I think that I had to do something immediately after. So my mind was just in a billion different places. And I announced all the girls except one.
Ooh.
I didn't bring them back on stage. I didn't give them acknowledgement. And it was totally, actually, okay, wait. Wait, no, yeah. That's probably it. That I didn't bring a girl back on stage to take her final bows. And I felt so bad after it because they were just like, I was waiting and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you like that final moment of people getting, that final bow, and I took that away
Right.
from her. And it wasn't done intentionally. I just forgot.
I mean, that's not really shady. That was an accident. If you did it on purpose, then it would have been shady. But okay, I'll accept that. For number two, then, tell us the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you on stage during a performance. Ooh.
I think it's actually, I think the video is on YouTube. I was performing in the Superstar Divas Mega Show, and my wig came off like literally like 30 seconds in, and so I had the whole 4.5 minute song just bald headed.
You glue that bitch back on?
No, I just left it off. I was like, it's off. There's nothing I can do. Like, she's just gonna let her freak flag fly.
Did it. And I will say there's nothing more beautiful than a bald queen.
No, nothing too crazy. There's also another video, I think, where I went to like reach for a tip and I didn't see the step right there on CC's, and I fell, but I fell in this gown that is literally it's not stretch material. It's literally made to hug my body. So when I fell, I just had to fall because I couldn't even save myself.
Oh.
I could not move.
Did you hurt yourself?
Yeah, my dignity, my knee.
Maybe. Now, for number three, then, sorry, name a queen you just can't stand, and it can't be me.
I would have to say, and I think this is very common with a lot of people that well, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, I'm just gonna speak for myself. Where do I start? I actually have a list. You want one?
Yeah, just one, or you can take a shot if you don't want to spill the tea. But girl, if you
No,
want to spill the tea, I'll listen.
I see the thing. That's why I was like, I'm not worried about drinking because like I'm an open book. If you want to know how, a lot of people know where they stand with me. If we're beefing, you know it. I'm not fake. I'm civil. If you come up and say hi to me, I'm gonna say hi, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to say hi. And I think that's where a lot of people mix fake and civil. Fake is when you're like, oh my God, did you see what she's wearing? Hey girl, long time no see, love you, kiss. That's fake. Right. Civil is, the girl comes by you, she says hi, you say hello. You don't take it any further. But I would definitely have to say she's from Camp Wanakiki. It's a Coco Gem Holiday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I love her. She's fabulous.
Yeah, no, probably an amazing person. We just had multiple misunderstandings. And, she came into, I have no problem speaking on it because if she knows the situation. She came into the dressing room and, it's my brunch I'm hosting. She acknowledged everybody else in the room, but didn't acknowledge me. Which if I'm going into a dressing room that I'm not a part of, one, I'm going to look for the host and ask if I have permission to be there before I talk to anybody. She didn't do that. I, wanted to correct her after it, have a conversation, but she didn't stay. She left. So I messaged her and, we were talking about it. She got how she feels about me, how she feels that I've treated her. I told her, of the lack of respect. And at the end of the conversation, rather than just, acknowledging it and, giving me time to stew in it, she goes, well, can I be booked in your brunch? And I was like, this is not the time or the place. That makes me know that you're not really listening to how I feel. You just want to squash it so you can get a gig. And I feel that she kind of came to the city where I came to the city like, I'm nobody. people knew where I was from, but I didn't, I'm from Piranha. I need a booking. Like, I feel she came to the city and was like, I'm from Camp Wanakiki, book me. She didn't give people a chance to get to know her before, yeah.
That's the thing, and I'm sorry to hear that about her. And if you're gonna be going to people's shows, you need to be respectful. I mean, even if you don't like a person, even if you don't like their way they handle things, that's their show, that's their environment. Don't go into their space and disrespect them. That's just never gonna end well.
Yeah, like, I would have never gone to any of her shows and did that. Like, I just thought it was very shady. And, I did try to squash it, but then when she asked me for the booking right after, I was like, this is not the time or place. Like, we're actually having a serious conversation of how I feel disrespected by you, and you want to get up in the gig? No, that's not how this works, sweetie.
Yeah, no. Oh, I love you still, Coco, but I'm sorry to hear that, sadly. Oh,
And I wish her the best. Wish her nothing but love. But you're just not getting love at my table.
Well, perfect. And speaking of love, for number 4, Miss Angel Phoenix, tell us, have you ever had sex in drag? Oh,
yeah.
Me too.
Well, we didn't really go over this because I really didn't talk about my coming up. But when I first was, on my own in the gay world, I was a prostitute, a sex worker, an escort, whatever have you. And I'm not ashamed of it. Like, I did what I did to survive. Like, that's one thing about me, is I will survive. My security and well-being will always be put first. But yeah, and some guy asked, I gave him a price, and I'm surprised because I wasn't even that pretty. I was not like this. I did not look like this. It was just basically like some rouge, some foundation, a shake and go shiny Party City wig.
Oh my gosh, but they tend to like that. And honestly, I've talked about this also, so sorry, Mom, if you're watching this and you act all shocked. I prostituted in the past, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I was like, bitch, that was the quickest fucking 600. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say the price. But that was like 45 minutes, and I got quite a bit of money. And I'm like, dude, I would totally do that again. But I mean, I'm not necessarily pretty, so no one really wants to pay me for my booty.
And you'll notice that the more money, the more questionable things get.
Oh my god. And I remembered being told, I just want to have your companionship, and I just want to talk with you. Bitch had my clothes off within the first fucking 15 minutes. Liza Minnelli.
Well, it did eventually. Like, the list of clients, Johns, whatever you want to call them, that I had, yes, it was to get their kicks, but it did kind of become therapy for them. Like, they would talk about their wives, their kids, their struggles at home. It is, in a sense, yes, it is what it is at the end of the day, but eventually it's therapy to them. Right. They get to talk to you because they know, well, one, you're not gonna go and say anything and blah blah blah. So it's like you become their confidant, so to speak.
I kind of love that, actually. And I have to just say this. I see no shame in sex work. I know it's not technically legal, but it's one of the oldest professions, and people will do what they have to do to survive. And there should be never shaming those people for doing that thing. In fact, I really honor you to talk about that, and really think it's brave of you to bring it up and let it know that it's not something to be ashamed of.
It really isn't. If someone's willing to pay for it, go for it. I mean, for me, it wasn't my end all be all. I knew going into it, I didn't want to do this forever. I could have, did everything. I just did it. I didn't do it to have Louis Vuitton bags, because I still live very simply. I did it just so I can get groceries, pay rent, survive, and get me to the next level where I could stand on my own. I eventually got a nice job. I found restaurants. I found that I love that. And, restaurants, you make good money. And, it's kind of the same thing as being a sex worker, being a server. You take abuse and you just have to smile.
Oh my God. Sorry. Well, I love
so if you have OnlyFans, make sure you put it in the comments below. Me and Maliena personally support sex workers. So if you have an OnlyFans or are a sex worker, post your links and where to find you. We definitely want you guys to make money as well.
Absolutely. And Angel, with that said, remind me after the interview to send you my favorite person to follow on OnlyFans. His balls are enormous.
See, and see, I'm kind of bad because I'll promote it, but like I don't follow anyone on OnlyFans mainly because like if I want to see it, like I'll just go to my husband or I'll just look down. Like I have one too, but
oh yeah,
so,
but I mean, every dick is like a snowflake. I mean, not one dick is always gonna be the same, honey. Well, Angel, we have one more question for truth or drink, and then we're going to go into our second game and then say our goodbyes. For the last question, who was the most difficult RuPaul girl you have worked with?
okay, let me.
My tea over here.
I wouldn't say I'm not giving a pageant queen answer by any means. But really none of them were really too difficult just because, you know, with the popularity and like the canceling of certain queens, they kind of saw what would happen if they were difficult. You know? So they kind of, even if they were faking it, they were always on because they knew what would happen should they not be on. But with that said, I would have to say probably, and I love her, she is talented, but Gia Gunn just really didn't seem entertained or you know, I mean, she's just stone cold beauty, so that could be just her thing, but she was kind of like, oh, huh, huh. Whereas a lot of the girls were like, when fans would come up and take a photo, they're like, hey girl, what's up? Like, we had to like get them off the stage because like, girl, there's like 300 people that want to get a photo. But Gia was very like, like.
Well, absolutely. Well, okay. I love the tea on that, Miss Thing, but yeah, I bet you all of them are very lovely.
Oh yeah, she was a great performer. Yeah.
Well, perfect. We have one more game, and then we're gonna say our goodbyes to the masses. Now, honey, I know you have been waiting for this moment since
my revenge.
Practically since Bitch Talk with Bitchcock started. This little game we call Marry, Kai Kai, or Cancel. And being one of the most canceled queens on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, I bet you are ready to cancel some bitches.
I kind of.
For round one, we have the one and only Lilac, the one and only Kimberly Michelle Westwood, and of course, Flawless Shade.
I would marry Lilac for obvious reasons.
For the hair.
Even though it would be hard because like to see all the wigs and then have to just like sell them to somebody, that would break my heart. So I don't think we'd be married long, but I would marry Lilac. And she's also a really great sweetheart. She's been there for me when I needed her the most. And so Lilac, I would marry Lilac. I would Kai Kai with Kimberly because it would just be something that like, okay, we did it, now let's not speak again.
Admit it, you just want to fuck Kimberly so you can angry fuck her.
No, well, I don't even know how we would because two bottoms don't make a top. So I don't know how me and Kimberly would figure it out.
She tries to say she's a top.
Well, I probably would Kai Kai with her because maybe we would go to like, you know, get sushi or Thai food after. So I think that would be, I love that. And then I would cancel Flawless.
Okay.
Just because she kind of canceled me so angrily. Like, what's the other one? Oh, that one. She gets that one.
Oh, oh, isn't it so sweet when that tea is handed to you on your end? Yeah. Okay. Well, perfect. For round two, we have your Las Vegas sister, London Adore, the one and only La Cherry Wild, and Asia King Adore.
Uh, ladies, this is where you turn it off. Go to bed. The interview's done. I would marry London Adore because she is my best friend, and I think she, other than my husband, of course, she really understands me and gets where I'm coming from. She gets my humor. She can kind of tell when I'm hurting, and she was a great help for me when I started. So if I wasn't with my husband, of course, I would marry London Adore. I would kai with La Cherry because she's what does she call it? Daddy Poppy or Poppy Sexy. She's very handsome and she has an amazing personality. And we would probably play video games after because she also is, a big gamer. So I would kai La Cherry and I would cancel Asia just because she's young.
Those young queens can handle being canceled.
Yeah, I love you, Asia. She's probably sending me a DM as we speak.
Well, let's take this to a different platform and talk about some of your favorite RuPaul girls. How do you feel for round three with Delta Work, Alexis Mateo, and Jessica Wilde?
Now I know what it's like. Like I feel bad because I can tell people didn't maybe want to cancel me, but when you give them such options, I would marry Delta because I love her humor. I just love her. I worship the ground she walks on. If I could skin her and wear her, I would. And actually, funny side note, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but I was remembering it later. Delta Work is beautiful. I love her support. She sent me a inbox, a message of a photo. A fan brought a photo of me thinking it was her to have her sign it.
Oh my God.
And she took a picture with the photo, and it's a photo of me. Her husband made the gown, so it's why I tagged her. She made the wig I was wearing, so I tagged her, of course. But it's a photo of me, and she signed it for the fan.
That poor fan probably was so embarrassed too.
But no, she's a class act. She didn't correct them. She just took the photo so that way I could be in on the joke.
Oh my
she
God,
didn't blast them, didn't call them out. She's of course. And she just looked at the photo. I can only imagine. She's like, this is Angel Phoenix, because I did work with her weekly, so yeah, I would marry Delta. I would kai with Jessica Wilde because have you seen her endurance performing?
No.
And she's a total sweetheart. When she came, because it's funny because she saw me in California, she saw me at Piranha, and then she came to Stag, and she was like, "What are you doing here? Like you're just everywhere I go." So I would kai Jessica, and then I would cancel Alexis. As much as I love Lexus, Lexus was my first Puerto Rican crush, and I was obsessed with her. I would have to, yeah.
Well, she's a fierce queen. In fact, I got to meet Alexis Mateo from coming to your brunch, so I love it. Okay, well, let's stick to the RuPaul Drag Race kind of theme, but let's kind of go with some of your Las Vegas Ru Girl sisters, including Coco Montrese, the one and only Chanel, and India Farah.
I would definitely have to. I would marry Chanel, because she's very put together from head to toe. She is fully realized.
Yes.
And her closet is sickening. And she's an interior designer, so her fashion sense and her way her home is decorated. And the main reason is because I don't know if you follow her or if you've seen her Instagram. Her house during Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
Impeccable.
So pretty.
decorations from hotels. Like she has Christmas trees from the Bellagio in front of her, just in front of her house. So I would marry her just for Christmas time.
Okay.
I would definitely kai with India. She is very, her endurance as well. Like she goes in her performance. She's a talented seamstress. She's a sweetheart. I would definitely kai with India. And I would cancel Coco just because I really didn't get a chance to get to know her. I maybe worked with her once. I didn't really have that connection with her.
Wait, you only worked with her the one time she came to Stag?
Okay, 2 times.
Okay, good.
She came to Piranha once. That I was there, and then she mainly did the Senior Frogs, the Boss Events Drag Brunch. That was her main thing because that's 2 shows, and I think they did 5 nights a week, or 5 days a week. Sorry, or 4 or 5.
All right. Well, I love that you kai-kai'd with India because, girl, I have flirted with that bitch on Grindr and oh, yum. Especially now she's growing that beard. Oh, girl, I love a man with fur. Okay, Angel, we have one more round, and of course I'm going to make this hard for you. We have Charisma Phoenix, Amy to Kill Phoenix, and Miss Ainana Phoenix.
This is gonna sound shady, but I would cancel them all because they're my children, and that's incest, and that's illegal. So sorry, children, you're all canceled.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Oh, you shady bitch.
Because if I were to marry, I were to marry anyone, they would try to think that they could get my drag. If I were to kai with them, they'd probably steal some of my drag. No. I would cancel all of them because they're my children and I love them, and I can't commit incest. That's illegal.
Oh my. Well, honey, I'm so happy that you played my little game and came on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, but you survived the full interview. Ooh.
I would lift my hands up, but I didn't shave. Yay!
Girl. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. If for the people watching, if you really enjoyed this interview, please look at the description where you can find Angel's PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Please tip this bitch a little something. She has spilled all the fucking tea. And in the meantime, tune into our next episode again as I interview the one and only Ellie Allure Safari. It's going to be a fantastic interview as we spill all the tea. Now, again, Angel, it's been such a fucking honor. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Of course, and if I may give you a little clout as well, y'all give it up for Maliena. She is introducing a lot of people to the community. She is doing her good Christian woman duties and letting us all come on and have a platform. Like, y'all give it up for her. Like, she is talented. She is gorgeous. She is, doing what she can to help everyone get through this quarantine, and I hope you love and appreciate her. As much love as you showed me, show her some love as well. She definitely needs it because this is a great platform, a great opportunity, and you deserve all the love and respect, and you have my love and respect. If you need me for anything, for charities, you just call.
Thank you so much. I'm like trying not to cry over here. God damn it. Thank you, Angel. I mean that. I appreciate that so much. And the fact that you're offering to work with me in the future, I would love that because, bitch, I respect you so much. And thank you again for coming on the show and saying such lovely words also. So all you boys and girls and those in between watching, I hope that you enjoyed this fantastic episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock as we dove into the life of this fantastic Vegas and Portland queen as she showed all the glitter of her showgirl secrets. So again, I hope you have a fantastic week. Please stay safe and try not to cough on anyone. Bye, y'all.
Bye.